Alright, my top 5 relatable shows. You won't believe number 3. Oh my god.
Hello and welcome to the Anime Summit Podcast. My name is Quokka, and with me I've got Nick.
Yo.
Psalm.
What's up?
And Mac.
What's up?
And today we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about? Relatable characters and those little things that make you feel good or bad. So how you guys doing?
Ate a lot of cookies today. Watched
Awesome.
a little bit of Bakwan. Caught up on that a little bit.
Don't even mention it.
It's great.
Why do you
Anime
do
of the
this to
season
us?
right there. Right behind Kabinari.
Yeah, I also ate a lot of food today. I am very full.
Oh yeah, we are recording this on Memorial Day. So, shout out to all our brave warriors that gave everything.
Yeah, beer was had, drinks were had, burgers, all the good stuff, and the park that we were at was busy as shit, but...
I feel like every holiday in America is just an excuse to drink.
Yeah, that's...
People just take token attempts at like paying attention to what the holiday's for.
Yeah,
And every weekend as well.
pretty much. I mean, I really wasn't planning on going to do anything today, it was really... That's just kind of like what Trish's family does, so we went.
So we got any picks for waifu of the week?
12 seconds later.
We'll do Nano from Nichijou.
All right. Good enough.
Nano's the robot, and she's got she works for the professor, and she's got like steamed buns in her head.
And a big
Doesn't
key
she
in her
have
back.
the twisty thing on her back?
I just
Yeah,
said
she
that.
has a.
I've seen
But
like 4
nobody
episodes
notices
of that.
it. Nobody notices it.
It's called
She's not a
wi-
robot.
wind-up
She's just
key.
a normal human girl.
So what makes her so special?
She's got buns in her head. What more could you want?
Wait, Mac has definitely seen Nichijou, right? Because you watch all the KyoAni stuff.
Of course I have.
Freaking
I have not yet seen it, so I can't
the
tell you.
professor is always like doing these upgrades to her and putting these weird compartments in her to hide desserts. It's kind of funny.
Primarily desserts. It's kind of like the reverse of the Invader Zim thing, where Zim had a sweet robot that was Gur, and Gur was putting desserts in him. In this case, Nano's the robot, and the professor's putting desserts in her.
And the more serious one is the robot. And the professor's not serious because she's like a child genius or something.
Well, she's the mad
Except
scientist.
she's really stupid about everything that they show, except her ability to just make amazing contraptions.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything else. Is completely incompetent.
One of my
Good,
favorite
you need that autism to be a scientist, man.
One of my favorite things about
works.
that show is the little transitions in between the little episodes or whatever. And there's this one where they did like a jump rope thing, and
Yeah, they did. It was like a moving joke for like 6 episodes.
Oh yeah, was that with the people with like the things on their heads, kind of like the Kisniver looking dudes?
What?
No,
They had something on their head. There was like a hat or a mascot or something, right?
Not the jump roping ones.
I feel like there was something like
They
that.
would
in
just
Nichijou.
jump roping.
feel like you're
Probably.
just making-
The guys holding the rope. Fuck's sake! Somebody correct me. I know that I saw that.
I mean, yeah, one of them had the buff guys in their little man thongs wearing bear heads, I believe.
Yeah, they had a hat. Exactly.
Yeah, it looked like
Christ.
the Kuma from Afro Samurai. That guy, the bear bad
Oh,
guy.
Afro Samurai. That's not a name you hear very much.
But yeah, Nano, awesome robot. No, she's totally a normal girl with a key in her back, but that's totally not a key. Ignore that.
Dude, I'm right. They had eggs. They had egg heads. I'm
Oh,
clicking
that's
on it right now.
That's what they are. Yeah.
Fuck out of here, guys.
Link in the show notes.
Tamago.
They were Tenshino Tamago. Shout out to Angel's Egg.
Oh god. So, do we want to get into relatable characters and stuff? Like, what are some characters you guys relate to, or whether or not you think relating to characters is important? Or how you even consider relatable characters, because some people have different
we should
definitions
try
for
to
what
define
that
it.
really
I mean,
means.
it's super different for...
set like a baseline or something.
It's hard to have a baseline, though. It's, like, different for everyone.
Well, they should be like me, so if they're like me, then they're correct.
Jesus.
Because like normally most people use relatable to refer to the fact that you have shared experiences with the person. So normally it'd be trying to say a person is as much like you as possible. But oftentimes that's not necessarily making a better character
Right.
because of the nature of obviously
Unless it's me, then it is.
if you have no empathy at all, then more relatable is more important. While the more empathy you have, how relatable they are isn't as important because
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I disagree.
your ability
but then I thought
to-
about it for a second.
yeah, the more empathy
If
you
you
have,
have
the
too
more
much empathy, where you just fucking like, you see an ant die and you just start sobbing.
that's not quite empathy, but whatever.
Well, you see a little kid fall in the dirt. That's empathy because it's, I don't know. That's actually a person, not an ant.
Okay.
You can't really empathize with an ant.
Yeah, because if you have more empathy, you can just need characters that are believable more so because you can, I don't want to say self-insert, but you can recognize how their trials and tribulations work together to form the person, even if you don't have shared experiences or traits with them. But I don't know. What do you guys feel?
Well, I'm gonna say something super Samish. To say.
That you cried when you watched Evangelion?
Shut up.
Even before Nadesco.
No, I was gonna say Nadesco. You fucked it up. I don't relate to the main character, Akito Tankawa. Like, I don't relate to him because he's like me. But I think
Wait, what show is this from? So I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Nadesco.
This is Nadesco. Okay,
Yeah.
like you kind of zoomed past it, so I didn't know.
No, I said Nadesco. I said I was gonna say Nadesco, and then you fucked it up. So what I'm saying is Nadesco.
So stop fucking it up, Nick.
So saying Nadesco.
Gotta blurt it out, Sam. You gotta make it clear.
Nabisco scale, Martian Successor Nabisco scale. I don't relate to him because he's like me, but I just kind of relate to him for kind of in the beginning, and probably in the movie a little bit, but in the beginning, like the whole thing that kind of gets this ball rolling in the series is that so the way you control some machinery and the robots in that show is you have to be injected with this thing called Nano, like the nanotechnology. It's like these little robots that go in your veins, and then it creates like this tattoo on your hand, and those little robots make a connection with like the little orb thing and the robots and whatever. But he has got one. He has one of those tattoos, and he explains why in the show. But he wasn't really meant to have one. But he just wants to be like a cook, like he really.
He just tripped and fell on a needle that injected him with nano machines.
No, that sounds stupid. That's not how it happened. I just don't want to say it because I think that's kind of a cool part. But he just wants to be a cook, and then then when he gets hired to be on the Nadesco for whatever accidental reason in the beginning, they hire him as a cook, and then when some BS happens and they're short on pilots, he accidentally gets in one of the robots, and it turns out he's really good at piloting one, and it gets to a point now where it's like he's like, no, I'm just a cook. I just want to cook. I don't want to fight anymore, but then like this call to arms happens, like kind of partway through it, and he's kind of just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna get in the robot because I want to protect everyone on the ship. And I think I kind of relate to that in a way where it's like if I had it my way, I would literally just stay in my house and just paint all the time. But like, I don't get paid for that, so like I have to
Not yet
anyway. But like, I have to like get a job and do stuff. I have to do real people stuff, which sucks because I don't want to. Like, I just want to paint and draw and do art things and do this, in my other show. But it's like,
and jerk off to 2D waifus, of course.
I think that's like how I relate to that, is because he's just trying to do what he wants to do and make that his career. But when there's a call for something and a need for something, he realizes he has to do what he has to do to be able to have that dream later on. And then that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. Like, oh, this, you know, the jobs I have now are just stepping stones to me doing this later. And that's how I kind of relate to that. And I've kind of like lived by that mantra for a while, just probably even more recently, just because like, you know, when I first like made my Facebook page for my art stuff, I was like, yeah, I got it all figured out. I'm going to sell prints, blah, 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 blah. It's like, nah, it doesn't work that way. Like, you gotta get real good and get a reputation and shit. But anyway, I digress. I'm just saying, like, that's how I relate to Aikido. There's probably other characters, but I can't think of them right now.
Not Shinji. I would have thought you were talking about Shinji.
Oh,
I relate to Shinji, bro.
I relate to Shinji probably in more ways than I would care for. But
There's two types of people who relate to Shinji and liars. That's not true, actually. I think you can only relate to Shinji if you've really been in like a down spot. Like if you're one of those go-getters, you're never going to relate to Shinji. You're going to think he's a fucking piece of shit. And that's why people don't like Evangelion. That's why some people don't like it, because they think they're, you know, they never have like that vulnerability,
or they don't want to recognize that. So because sometimes people don't want
characters
that are similar to them. They want ones that are similar to what they want to be or what they believe themselves to be.
I definitely relate to Shinji in a lot of more ways than I like to think. But I think I've talked about that before in a previous episode, probably in one of the first ones. So I don't want to get into it. But
well, he's my number one most relatable, just because I think he's, I think almost all the characters.
Because you think he's a twat and you're a twat.
No. I think like almost all the characters in Evangelion were really relatable because they had like all this minutia about them, and they had like their lives and stuff, and
isn't that really more believable than
what
relatable?
They did made sense. No, the same thing. Believable and relatable are pretty similar.
Well, that was the whole first part of our conversation, was about how those are not the same thing.
I think it's the same thing, because if it's not believable, then it's not relatable, period. And if it is believable, then it might be relatable. So it's like not a one-to-one fit, but it's close.
Yeah, but normally relatability is attached to the nature of shared experiences and traits.
Yeah, and if they're believable, yeah, so like if it's believable,
just because they're believable doesn't mean that you have any shared traits or experiences.
But you probably do, because to make them believable, you make them do everyday things, like they're eating food, they're feeling this way, they're looking over there, doing that.
So relatable.
Yeah, and like the way they interact with other people that's believable and relatable. Pretty much similar.
Very well,
but yeah, like that's why, okay, I don't know if I mentioned this in another episode, actually. Part of what makes Evangelion and a lot of other shows characters more relatable and believable is that there's a balance between comedy and drama. I think I did mention this in another episode. So like in a good drama has like a little bit of comedy, and vice versa. A good comedy has a little bit of drama.
Dramedy.
That's why you want the characters. That's why something like Concrete Revolutio doesn't work. The characters are just like figureheads. They're just spouting out ideals. They're not characters. Like, and then something lowbrow like Bakuan kind of works because it's like fucking just stupid, but the characters are
completely actually terrible.
That's not a good example. Bakuan's a bad example. But like, think of a comedy that you like, and those characters are often more relatable because they do real people things. They're not just going for the plot.
I feel you, I think. Well, it's just, the people actually have ups and downs, and when you're just focusing too much on one side, it starts to cause a bit of a disconnect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
like that soap opera just chain of stupid, ridiculous, negative things that happen. It's like, how about you guys fucking smile for once?
School Days, it almost falls into that, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. That one's not the best example either.
I find aspects of the characters pretty relatable.
They're relatable, but only in like one way. They're not. Yeah, there's no like positive traits, but they have like relatable negative traits. So that's why people don't like it, and it's also just not that well made. But
because they just see terrible parts of themselves. Like when I was thinking about this topic and like what are I couldn't really come up with any specific characters that I would say I really relate to.
I got a lot.
It's just like some Well, there's characters that I see as very believable, and whether or not I fully relate is a whole nother part. But one like major trait that I tend to relate more towards, which, okay, I was at first thinking it was going to be crippling self-doubt, and then I realized I don't relate to Shinji at all, so crippling self-doubt wouldn't be the appropriate thing to say. But just that like appropriate level of self-doubt where you can kind of slip by looking like you kind of know what the fuck's going on, and inside you're just like, I'm a failure. You know, kind of like that.
Yep. I agree.
So normally that leads me to gravitate towards like shoujos, because most main characters in shonen stuff or in the normal kind of things are generally fairly well put together, and they don't normally have that aspect, while that is a staple of the shoujo main character.
Yeah, the recent one, Akagami Shirayuki, is like, that was a good show, but the characters didn't really have any negative traits. It was almost the opposite of School Days, because like everything was just almost overly positive. Everyone was such a hard worker and such a good person, and like it made sense, but it wasn't. I couldn't fully get into it. It was mostly just like kind of one of those healing shows almost.
I mean, so what about Mac? Like, you relate to anybody in particular in anything even recent that you watched, or?
Kokoro Connect, I could relate to the characters pretty much. That's what's most solidly on my mind, which I mentioned that last episode. And that's one of the reasons that I like it so much is, you don't have to have relatable characters to have a good show. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of shows out there that the characters are zany and out of control. I think a lot of it really depends on the type of narrative that the show is going for.
So in a drama, you need to be relatable.
Yeah, that's why School Day sucks.
It is relatable, though.
But what are like the traits and character aspects that make something relatable to you?
I don't know. I don't know myself very well. I don't know. I just... Whenever I see it, I'm like, oh,
Mac, you got to watch Fullmetal Alchemist. Winry is a mechanic.
I gotta say, Inaba is a pretty close match. To an extent,
you are at Tsundere.
I'm not quite as extreme, but that's a pretty good match for my personality. Somewhere between Inaba, like 70% Inaba, and maybe 30% Iori. Maybe.
Actually, now that you are bringing up Inaba, I would say that is a fairly good, relatable character for me, because she does have that doubt, and she does put on that front.
She has that husky voice,
and she doesn't seem like she cares to be alone that much. Which I like being alone. It's nice.
Yeah, I don't mind it. There are some days where
I love it. Sometimes, if I could be alone like 80%.
Like I think I told you about this. When I wanted to go get the mail because something I had was delivered and it was in the mailbox, and there was 2 people standing next to the mailbox talking. So I just stayed inside until they left so I could go get the mail. I was like, I don't want to deal with people.
It sounds like a Tanaka-kun gag.
I'll inconvenience myself just to not have to deal with people.
I don't think he'd be embarrassed. He'd just be too tired. He's like, I don't want to walk 30 feet.
I'll tell you what though, like, is there any kind of character that, like, just as for like all three of you guys, like, is there any character, because I'm generally curious, like, that you relate to so much where you were almost like, you kind of almost not had an epiphany, but you were like, holy fucking shit, like, whoever designed and wrote the development for this character is like my dad or something. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, like every character in Evangelion, man.
Yeah, okay, so me and Nick, like...
Besides that, I guess, like, I'll say some other stuff.
Me and Nick have...
Nick's just a retard. Somebody told him that it was relatable, so he...
No,
Sam has reasons. Nick just was told to.
I saw that a long time ago. That was like one of the first ones I saw.
Yeah, Nick tried to get my brother to watch it, and he didn't want to because my brother's a square. But me and Nick have huge boners for Evangelion, so try, like,
I got other stuff.
Try a different answer.
I was going to troll and be like... Umarun. Umarun.
I too like to be a waste of time and space and eat nothing but junk food all day.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but like Kiki's delivery service, I kind of liked Kiki. I'm not a girl or anything. But
I don't know.
Still relate.
Obviously.
liking a character is not really the same as relating
Well,
to
I think
them.
it's relatable because like I remember there's one part she's like delivering a cake and then some people were being rude and stuff and like, but she was kind of too scared to like tell them off. And then what was it? I think at one point she was, I don't know why, like she got like sad or something. She just kind of like hid like in her room for like the longest time. And that made a lot of sense to me. She didn't just like, oh, I'll just brush it off. No big deal. Like it actually affected her.
Right. Like it's
I
not
don't know the
easy
exact
to just,
detail of what happened, but yeah. That's what
well, it's not easy to brush off stuff for everyone, you know, like especially not for me. Like it's really hard to brush off stuff for me. But man, now I'm trying to think of like an answer for my own question. I can't even answer my own shit. But like, I know there's
someone not from Evangelion.
no, just like no. The question is like you know like you related to a character so much where you almost shit yourself. You were just like, hey,
that'd be Evangelion for me. Oh, what about Fooly Cooly?
Oh, dude,
not Haruko, but like to some of the other characters. I don't know, the main character.
I'll tell you who I relate
Naota?
to. Yeah, Naota, Takun.
Yeah, like a little bit. At least when I was younger, for sure.
You know, like I think now that I'm getting older, I can relate to him more because he was just so mature. Like, except for kind of at the end, you know, when he kind of whatever. But like he was always kind of like the logical, mature one. Like in that whole show, he was always kind of like, no, why don't you just do this? Like you sound stupid, and no, I don't want to do that because it's dumb. You know, like, I don't know. That's kind of funny. I guess I kind of relate to it that way. I was just more thinking, like, maybe... I can't even think of one. Like,
Dude, I'll name off more.
One thing is haven't you guys seen Oregairu?
No,
that's on my list. I'm getting to it.
A lot of people... I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the show, especially the second season. I feel like it went way downhill. But the main character has like that exact, I'd imagine that exact personality type that a lot of teenagers that would be into anime would be like, that's how I was in middle school and high school, at least for parts of it. And it just made me hate him because of that.
Oh yeah, kind of the Watamote
Where you
thing,
just like he's
cringy.
and you're like, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth because of the fact I related to it. But then the show kind of just got worse from there, kind of. First season was good.
Have you guys seen Watamote or Watamote? I can't pronounce that. The girl who's like the shut-in.
I've seen. Well, yeah, that's just about Hikikimoris in general.
Oh, welcome to the N.H.K. Everyone's gonna say that. We gotta obligatory mention that one, but I guess if you've ever been in NEAT, which I saw that show and then I was like, that's a pretty good show, and then I read all the stuff online. Everyone's like, it's the best fucking thing ever. I'm like, oh
let's
my God.
all be neats.
Like I don't understand. I think I need to rewatch it because I don't understand such high praise that it got. Like it was a good show. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like I wouldn't put it in my top 10 or you know what I mean. It's just, and you know I've been like down and like a little depressed or whatever before, but it's like I don't relate to that so much. Maybe it's something I got to watch again, but it's not, just having a believable thing like, oh, this could happen in real life, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't make it more relatable. It's just like, I don't know what I'm trying to say with this. It's like, just because something could happen to you in real life or did happen to you doesn't mean that it's good entertainment or that it's good.
Oh, no. Yeah, of course.
For a show.
No.
So, and that's why a lot of people don't like Watamote because it was, I'm butchering that name, but
yeah,
but because
Watamote?
It's
like
too
Whataburger?
relatable and it's not fantastical enough.
Well, even Quokka said earlier he
metaphor.
didn't even enjoy the show, but he, related to.
Wait, what?
Earlier you said Oregairu or whatever. Like,
Oh yeah, I liked the first season, but the way that I related to Hajimon made me dislike him.
Oh sure.
He got less relatable and more likable in the second season, while the rest of the show was also going downward.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know how that works out. Maybe I hate myself. Maybe that's what that was telling me.
I think one that Mac would relate to is the Great Teacher Onizuka. I remember that.
I've seen it.
But do you relate to the teacher at all? I mean, maybe not like the pervy parts, but maybe, I don't know. I mean,
maybe definitely the pervy
maybe
parts.
definitely that, but
Maybe if I was permanently drunk, yeah.
exactly.
He's
Got
just drunk all the time. Like,
If I was permanently drunk, yeah, that would probably be me.
the pervy parts just come out.
Only I'm not an expert in hand-to-hand combat.
But you can be.
Yeah, but you got a wrench though, Mac. You're just always carrying a wrench.
Yeah, and if Overwatch has taught me anything, you can build a turret with a wrench.
Except for that one time whenever he had a big-ass fucking pipe wrench going after somebody.
Yeah, pipe wrench.
Gotta go hard, man.
Gotta go hard, bro.
But
Straight for the jugular.
But no lie, if I was permanently drunk, yeah, I'd probably be very similar, very, very similar. Now that I'm thinking about it, because usually I'm just mellow. I don't care. And then you give me alcohol, and then I'm like,
So you
What's
go
up?
from Tanaka-kun to Onizuka.
Yeah.
no, I go from Inaba to Onizuka. Get it right.
It was from Inaba.
From a teenage girl to a middle-aged man. Good job.
Pretty
Actually,
much.
he was only like 22 in the show.
That's middle-aged for Japan.
Reformed bike gang leader of sorts.
It's like there was one thing in our reference material that I linked you guys to talk about this topic. One person was making the case that relatable characters, I wish I could find it because it was such a good, like, interesting thing. It's like relatable characters are actually like have flaws, which make them actually difficult to relate to. I'm
But
not.
what?
The basic idea was
that's-
a relatable character that would really match who you are as a person is going to have flaws that make you not want to relate to them. It's like, it's kind of like that uncanny valley, I'd imagine,
It's
argument.
like school
where
days,
it's like
man. People
the
don't wanna
closer they
admit it.
are to being real, the less you can accept that it's real.
Right.
Well, no, I think the valley is like there's a point where they look realistic, but then they're like it makes you
Yeah,
feel
it
uneasy. But then
stop-
you go past the point and then they do start to
Yeah,
feel realistic.
Because
but-
uncanny valley is that it stops being a fake thing that looks real and starts being a real thing that looks fake.
Something like that, yeah.
So if the character were to be in that, as far
It's
as
like a
writing would be
you.
concerned, it would be getting a better and better character until they get to that point where there becomes a disconnect because of the fact that it doesn't work anymore within the concept of fiction. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be real here. I just relate to Samurai Pizza Cats 100.
Because they're samurai and they like pizza and they're cats.
Yep. No, you know what? I fucking lied. I'll tell you who I relate to 100.
One Punch Man.
Natsu the bear.
Natsu the bear.
Yeah.
He likes his girls young.
Yeah, and he likes him to dress up.
No, because like he's just trying to be real. Like he's just trying to do real shit.
Are you neutered, Sam?
Yeah.
Like the bear?
Yeah, dude.
All right, I'm just checking.
Okay, so let's move on to the second topic that we had. We're just talking about the.
Okay.
What?
yeah.
Do you got more?
I'm just gonna list off a couple more with like real quick with like
I hate
relatable
lists.
characters.
I hate lists.
All right. My top 5 relatable shows. You won't believe number 3.
Oh my god.
Number 5.
5.
Grappler Baki. Actually, I don't know about
Number 4.
that. I'm just going to list like 3 of them. Okay, so 3 shows for me that have like relatable characters to me is Kaiji, the Ultimate Survivor, because he's like this crazy competitive dude. And he's always just like stressed out of his fucking mind. He's just trying to save his own ass pretty much. But he has to go deeper and deeper. And, I did a whole show pitch on it. So like, if you're like a really competitive person, then Kaiji, or desperate, I guess, then Kaiji is relatable. And then the other one I have is Haibane Renmei, which I've been recommending to some. It's like a show that I think I would recommend the show to almost anybody, even if they hated anime, because it's just like the themes are very strong. It has like this powerful imagery that makes sense to you if you've ever been like depressed or sad or whatever, and it's like it has a very cathartic ending. So, and the characters in that like make sense. They're understated. They're not over the top. They're not like archetypes. They're not tsunderes or anything. So that's another one. And then the last one, this one's a little less relatable, is Berserk, which is the new show's coming out in 2016 or in the summer here. But in the 1997 version, it had really good character arcs up until the end. So, I mean, nobody relates 100% to the characters in Berserk, probably. I hope not. Because otherwise you'd just be like this crazy warrior and then like this other, Griffith, which I won't say anything. But, yeah, so I was just listing off a few good ones. Great characters.
Okay.
And they all have flaws. That's the main thing, is all the characters have flaws. If a character does not have a flaw, if they're a Gary Stu, Mary Sue, whatever, they're not relatable.
They're just but I can just be them. I can just self-insert into them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like Kirito. Like Kirito.
Isn't that right, Sam? I was trying not to say it. Oh,
Shut up.
Let's move on to the other topic, which is just those little things that either really bug the crap out of you, like they grind your gears, or just that instantly make you love something. Obviously, Matt could probably go on for hours about Shirobako's car physics as a little thing that...
Or any mechanical inconsistencies.
You probably won't recognize it as a little thing, right, Mac? It's probably a huge thing.
It's the only thing.
It's definitely a detraction. I love Shirobako. It's just any time in the car. Any time in the car.
Shitty Bako.
And then not even the first episode, okay? You open the can of worms. The last episode, when they're doing this little racing bullshit to get the last episode to this one station way out in the middle of nowhere. No. No. That is not how cars work.
No, wait, so...
They gotta go fast, though,
Wait,
Mac.
no, so this topic is the little things we like and the little things we don't like. Right? Or just ones we don't like.
I believe so. Little things. So it could be like a little character. Like, what's that little tiny dude in Dragon Ball Z? He's Yamcha's partner.
He's not Yam. Oh, the little cat?
No, the little tiny fighter dude.
That's Tien's partner, and his name is
Tien's
Chaozu.
Partner, Chaozu. That's what I meant. Fucking same thing.
No, it's
Tien,
not. Actually, it's completely different.
they're both weak characters. Actually, Yamcha's the weakest. Oh man, I kind of like that actually. I like when there's a really shitty character in the show.
No, that's what was cool about the Frieza DBZ movie. Anyway, so Mac, would you say that was one of those situations where you wanted to crawl on the TV and just be like, no,
like a reverse Grudge or The Ring?
I was tempted to write an email and send it to the people who came up with that scene.
Just 3 years
and
later.
send them a link to Top Gear where they're doing some challenge and they're racing the cars around the track.
Why not Tokyo Drift?
I will off you.
A great movie.
I will off you. That is also not how cars handle. That is
None
so
of the
much
Fast and the Furious
Hollywood
movies are realistic.
bullshit.
But that's how cars handle in Japan.
Yeah, it is, Mac. They have different physics. They have different gravity because they're on the other part of the world.
Shut the
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh really?
Toilets
how it
spin
works.
the opposite direction. Cars drift different.
So do tell me, are the compounds in the tire different? Are the camber and caster angles different? Are the materials used in the construction aluminum instead of steel?
The
all
physics
the
are
earthquakes
different.
and salt water just
Or do
get
they
into
use
everything.
carbon fiber chassis? I mean, come on.
Well,
The only
Mac,
thing
like,
that's different is the physics.
there's little earthquakes that happen in Tokyo Drift that make sense. So, like, if there's just enough of an earthquake, those cars could have done that.
Oh my god.
If there is just enough of an earthquake to move where you live next to where I live, I would walk over there and kick your ass.
Not if a fault line came between us. Then
Because Sam still hasn't done it yet.
I'm messaging my brother.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, like, I always get called by Sam too nitpicky because I always latch on to little things.
Yeah, because you're a bitch.
Which normally doesn't affect how much I overall enjoy the show, except in very few cases. But
what are
it's
you
like,
talking about? Yes, it does.
No, I mean, normally I'm complaining about it, but it's not like I'm not enjoying the show type of a thing.
You make it seem like you're not enjoying the show.
No, it's just that one thing. It's kind of like one of those things where it's born from passion. I love it so much that I don't want to be making those mistakes. You know, like when it's Bakuon and it does motorcycles wrong, I don't give a shit because it's a terrible fucking show.
It's a comedy. Jesus Christ. It's just a commercial.
Show.
The whole show is a commercial.
It's a terrible show.
But if like Gekkan Shoujo had weird bike physics on the one time they ride a bicycle, I'd be calling that shit out because that's important.
Oh, dude, I remember in One Punch Man, you're like, Moomin Rider, did you see how he rode his bike?
That was
fucking just said that the whole time.
There's just one scene, okay, where
that
he pulls
fucking
up,
Sakuga, man.
he gets off of his bike, and the animation is so fucking clean for just that stop. I had to watch it like 5 times. It was amazing. And then I had to tell everybody about it.
Dude, the animated
as I'm doing right now. Seriously, go check that shit out. It is so good.
60 FPS bike riding.
Like in fucking that freaking that Will Ferrell movie, Semi-Pro, the basketball one, where he's like, they invent the alley-oop and one of them does it, and then the referee like blows the whistle and he's like, not foul. And he's like, what? He's like, your friend can't go flying through the air like that. It just doesn't work. It doesn't count.
I remember that movie.
It was just a layup or like, yeah. But no,
But
like
speaking of things that I dislike, Asterisk War Season 2.
Well, where's
That's
the
not
little
a little
thing in
thing,
that?
Max.
Where's the little thing?
If you're watching it, this little green-haired, lowly maid chick looking piece of shit with a voice that literally sounds like she has been snorting helium for years so that she can accomplish this role. It is literally the most tinny, just
is it nasally?
chalkboard.
Is
it's
it
like
nasally?
it's like nails on a chalkboard
Is it like,
whenever she speaks.
Is it like that?
Is she a minor character or what?
Unfortunately, she appears multiple times.
But she's not part of like the main story.
Yeah,
So she
you gotta
further
write A1
ruins
pictures
a
of
bad
angry
show.
letter. Write
Oh,
them an
by the
angry
way,
letter.
Asterisk War Season 2 is actually a little bit better than Season 1.
Oh, 3 out of 10 then. Okay.
Did they abandon the
solid.
entire premise of the start of the show entirely?
What, you mean looking for his sister?
Yeah.
Well, it's only been mentioned like twice. It's been mentioned like twice, and then, oh, boom, we actually caught a glimpse of
Panties?
what her sister looks like right now. No, we've seen panties.
Okay. But yeah, it's like
Answers!
things that are logically inconsistent, that are big points, I can totally like shy past and have no problem with. But when it's like a tiny little thing, it just annoys the crap out of me.
Like the firefight in Iron Butter Orphans, and then Kudelia somehow survives it.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
She
where it's just like,
ducked,
it could have
dude.
just been
She
done
ducked.
differently. Or I know I mentioned in Deadpool when he's in the box that starves him of oxygen so that he feels like he's suffocating for 4 days straight. It's like if you don't have enough oxygen, you'll never feel like you're suffocating. You'll just pass out and get lightheaded. You'll never actually feel that you can't breathe if
Yeah,
there's
but it
no
was
oxygen.
special oxygen though, dude. Special.
So it's like the whole show is obviously ridiculous. Like he's not have mutant powers and stuff. But then there's one detail of suffocating from oxygen, because if you didn't know, your body breathes because of too much carbon dioxide in your body and not because of oxygen. Like the impulse that makes your body breathe is carbon dioxide
Mm-hmm.
and not your need for oxygen. So you'll just pass out with not enough oxygen. You won't feel like any stress or panic over it. You'll just get lightheaded and pass out. That's it. But when you have too much carbon dioxide in your body's going to freak the fuck out.
That's probably what it was then. Just don't think about it.
So that just bugged the crap out of me.
One thing that that I thought was kind of weird, and this is it's an arc that happens. So I'm talking about Accel World. I said this on the stream the other day. Accel World's an okay anime. It's pretty flashy and it's kind of clutch.
Solid.
That's why I like
9
it.
out of 10.
And that main character's got a goofy face.
You shut the fuck up about my main dude, all right?
Dude, that's a little thing that grinds my gears some.
Dude, okay, speaking of relatable characters, sorry, I totally forgot about that. Haru from fucking Accel World. That's my guy. Okay, shut the fuck up. Anyways, there's this arc where in the game they play, there was like this virus avatar, and it wasn't controlled by a player. It was just like it used to be controlled by a player, and then the virus took over, and then the player wasn't able to like log back in ever again. And it's like the virus just stole the avatar from him, and it's like this thing that spreads. Like he can spread to another avatar and take over that one and all this stuff, and then like they like beat him, and then it gives you this little inclination that it spread it into Haru's like avatar. Sorry, spoiler alert, whatever. But like they never touch on it again. And I think
okay, Sam, I wasn't listening anyway.
I think they assumed
I'm just
that fuck you. I think they assumed that they were gonna make more, but then they didn't. And then it's like that assumptions in anime like that like really bother me, because then shit like that happens, and then it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, okay, we'll go read the light now. It's like, I don't want to. I don't want to fucking read. Okay? Like, I just
Sam,
I didn't come
watch
here to
it.
read. I came here to watch.
I came here to lead, not to read.
Yeah, like,
It's like that guy in The Simpsons. You guys know what I'm
that to
saying?
me,
Simpsons?
yeah, we get it. Jesus Christ.
I know. I need some feedback, Sam. You gotta praise me.
God.
Great contribution, Nick.
Fucking.
Gotta praise me.
Freaking, that is a little thing that bothered me. Because now, like, when the show ended, I was like, hell yeah, that was cool. And then my friend brought it up to me. He's like, you know what really bothered me? And I was like, what? He was like, that thing happened, and then they never touched on it again. And I was like, oh yeah, like, what's supposed to happen with that guy, right? And it's like, I don't know, maybe he's gonna wait for season 2. And it never happened. And now they're making, like, a movie that's like a retell. And it's like, wow, all this time you could have been making season 2 and said, you just make
Well, maybe they'll do it after the movie. Sometimes they do that, don't they? They do
I don't
like kind of
fucking know how this shit works. I don't know how this shit works.
Those small plot points to build off in
They all
different stuff.
walk up to Hayao Miyazaki and they beg him to let them animate. That's how animation in Japan works.
I don't know, man. That was a little thing that bothered me. That was just kind of like, why didn't you know, why didn't
Yeah.
you say some shit?
Dude, you know what I hate though is when characters are, especially the male characters, like when they don't go after the girls.
Oh,
like,
so
fucking,
this is
like Rakadushi, the cavalry, chivalry of a failed knight. I can't pronounce that name.
this
the
is more
guy-
of a trope, isn't it? That you hate, or
Probably, yeah, it probably is. It's where they're like overly stoic and overly prude or whatever. The guy, and he's like, he obviously wants to do it too, and he's just like, he's sitting in the shed with the girl who's like bare naked, and she's like, we should do it, and he's
She's
just
like, I want you inside me.
She basically said that, and he's like, sorry, not until we're married. Like, what kind of fucking pussy says that? I fucking hate that guy. He's not a man at all. God damn.
sounds so
Fucking
mad.
pisses me off. That's why School Days was great. You didn't take no
Because
for an
everybody
answer.
was boning.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding about that. But like, yeah, I don't like when the male characters just don't go for the girls who obviously want their nuts, and like, it's like that would never happen in real life. In real life, if that happened, some like very attractive girl went up to you and was like, you're like, yeah. Of course, that wouldn't
Nick,
happen in
for
real
you,
life.
yeah.
But
You'd probably be like, this is a joke.
well, yeah, a lot of people would say it's a joke, but then you're like, no, it's not a joke. There's no catch, and they'd be like, oh shit.
That's more tropey. What are some like little things that you just love, like when it happens? Like,
Dude, I
you
love big
irrationally
eyebrows.
Just like
Big eyebrows. That's a little
So-
thing, bro. Like Moogie eyebrows.
edible eyebrows. Okay, that's
all
what
the
makes
all the
it
characters in
Fucking,
Bakugan got those thick eyebrows. It's great.
Like in Fully Cooley, he's like, those eyebrows.
Yeah, and then the eyebrow falls off.
Yeah.
It's like a pasty.
Yeah. They're supposed to block the NO from his head or whatever. Shit's
Dude,
funny.
nobody knows what they were. They were caterpillars.
Nobody knows. They were caterpillars.
They were
This is
pieces
true.
of paper.
Nope.
and you
They were
paste
living
them and
organisms.
put it
They were living on his eyebrows.
in. Oh, I
Protect
like
him from aliens.
I like the references in Fully Cooley. They did a South Park thing. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
And then-
yeah.
And then
Well, I
they
like
did,
references if they're good, but
they did a Lupin thing at one point.
yeah, they had a bunch of stuff.
I like those little things that they threw in there because the anime was already ridiculous, and it's like, well, This anime's already stupid retarded, so let's just throw this stuff in there.
Kind of like how Luluco is going to every single other Trigger show that was ever existed.
Yeah.
See, I don't think Luluco did it as well. Because it's just
Luluco's doing it
referencing.
super, episodic, and it's just straight up, this is the characters.
Yeah, they're like, hey, do you guys remember this show? And
yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. It's kind of funny, but...
Like Robot Chicken. Like, look, Optimus Prime and He-Man and Thundercats, those things existed. Like...
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Luluco was funny, I think. I don't know.
Dude, you know what I like, though? In like shows like Kill la Kill, where they just play the opening, closing theme music during the episode.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff
Kill
where
la
it's
Kill
like...
way overdid it. They played the same fucking 4 songs.
Like, do you mean like as an insert song? Or that's
like as an insert song.
Is like part of the universe?
Either one. Or actually, and also like
those things where it's like, oh, we're going to go play some DDR, and we're going to play DDR to the theme song.
Yeah, and like whenever a character
song...
hums the song, so like Evangelion, the girl's like, she's cooking for the guy and she's humming like Fly Me to the Moon or something. And then in Shokugeki no Soma, at the end of one of the episodes, they're in a bath and they were both humming the same ending theme.
Yeah.
So I remember that.
That was also to lead into the actual ending, because they started...
Yeah.
That episode was one of the long episodes, so they started the credits later. So they made it so the whole song could be done by putting it into the scene. It was interesting. I liked it. Especially it was a duet between the two main characters that don't like each other.
They don't, yet they do.
They want each other.
You know what's going to happen. Whether Irina wants it or not, because she's such a bitch that
she's got the golden tongue.
Still, my favorite part of that show is when she was a baby and she's breastfeeding, and then they're like, she just like stops breastfeeding and she's like, it lacks depth of flavor.
Smack that kid. So, do we want to move on to some final thoughts?
Yeah. All right. I just discovered this podcast that's kind of, they're like a year old or a little less. It's called the Procrastinators Cast. We'll link it in the show notes. It's like Digibro and the Best Guy Ever and a bunch of other people. It's great. If you like video games, anime, it's great. Shout out to that.
And just shout out to Gigook's video. That's a guide to Sundrays. It is hilarious and amazing, and I wish I had made it, but I didn't.
You should make the exact same thing, but use
just
a different
remake
accent.
it with me talking.
Yeah. And then try to get him on a copyright. Be like, bro, I made this first.
Shout out to Erotica, dude. Shit's funny.
Just erotica in general.
Shout out to Sam's.
Just sexy things.
Improvisational.
Just shout out to Erotica in general.
Dude, speaking of erotica, that new KyoAni movie, or whatever it's called, Violet Evergarden, that is
looks so good.
That is the best TV animation I've ever seen. That's fucking insane. Like, I'm more hyped for that than I am for Berserk. Like, I don't even know why. It's just like the music is haunting and stuff, and it's just like everything's like spiraling on the screen, and it's just like fucking like 100 things on the screen for every frame. It's great.
But it might be terrible.
No, it's gonna be good because that won the grand prize in the KyoAni competition. Like
runners up have been pretty good.
Yeah, and that's the only story to win the grand prize in 7 plus years. So it's gonna be good.
You know what didn't win a prize at all? Myriad Colors Phantom World.
No, I think that one got like the lowest prize. So
all right, Mac.
Okay, might as well.
What about you, Mac? Final thoughts, bro?
None really.
And on that bombshell, I've been Quokka. With me has been Mac, Nick, and Sam, and this has been the Anime Summit Podcast. If you like the show, don't forget to follow us on Twitter @Anime Summit or leave a review on iTunes.